picking up where I left off. Um, it's the energy is it's upsetting, because like feeling these feelings again are really hard, and it's just like I know I'm meant to like share because that's the whole reason why I went through it. And I was working 2 3 jobs at a time ever since I was 19, because I moved out at 19 because I was running away from my problems at home. And it was really really hard to keep up, if you will, and keep up with like what I felt I should do, what I felt other people wanted from me, what I felt was like mandatory for success. And I also wasn't like thinking of myself in a bigger light and a bigger picture. So fast forward like a decade later, I I'm working so much and I'm having such a hard time resting. And because I went on autopilot, I just kept going. Like the Energizer Bunny, just boom, boom, boom. I just kept going and going and going and going and going. And to, it was really hard to work and understand what I needed to go through to really heal myself. And I call 2020 the Great Reset because it made a lot of people see a lot of things that were going on in this world. And the card that came out was Nourish. And it's funny that that came out because that was something that I was worried about. I wasn't nourishing myself. I wasn't nourishing my body. I wasn't taking care of myself. If I can figure out how to edit the video, I'll like put in a picture of me back from that time. My skin was horrible. I was so bloated. I had moon face because I have PCOS. I was just so like, it's a completely different person. And in 2020, I had this opportunity to start my own business. And at first I was doing branding, and I ended up meeting my business coach, now best friend slash business partner, Elise, and the amount of confidence that she had in just herself and in business really threw me for a loop, because I was like, okay, your girl needs to be on that level, because that's the level that I'm trying to get on. And so much was happening in that time. Be clear about what you want. I'll come back to that. But she was being really honest with me about like my journey and what I was going through, and her journey and what she went through. And she was just like, girl, you're not taking care of yourself. And she was right. So then I swapped out my like 6 iced coffees a day. And no, I'm not joking. I swapped that out for my iced coffee and cigarettes. I swapped that out for actual herbal teas. I swapped out for, instead of sitting on TikTok and smoking my cigarette in the morning before I started my day, I would literally walk my dog, listen to the Beyonce Renaissance album on repeat. Yes, I did. And I would just walk my apartment complex. I would just walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. But it was early in the morning and I didn't have to feel anything other than sitting in it. And because I was walking and drinking my tea and journaling and pulling cards and doing stuff for myself, starting at 5 a.m., by the time that I actually like got ready to sit down for work, I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything in myself. I was like coming from a cup that was already full, and I was able to help other people in that process, which was amazing. And I did work with some clients. I worked with some high profile clients. I worked with big companies, multi-million-dollar companies. Confirmation. And it was just really like difficult for me to understand that I needed to come from a place that was not of ego, that I needed to come from a place that was of what I really wanted. Clear about what you want. My ego wanted notoriety. My ego wanted the spotlight. I wanted to say like I didn't need anyone's help, that I could do anything that I put my mind to, that I would work 5 jobs, 50 hours, 70 hours, whatever it is. I would do it all, and I didn't have to do it with the help of anybody else. And I wasn't taking care of myself in that process. Even when I did switch stuff over in 2020, I still started coming from the place of ego. And that's why everything was like falling through. I had 2 6-figure deals fall through for like a social media management slash branding overhaul. And literally, they picked companies that were doing the exact same thing that me and Elise were doing and had like the same thing. And then I was like, why wouldn't they pick us versus like these other people? Because it wasn't meant for me. And it was coming from a place of ego. I wanted to say, oh, I signed a 6-figure deal. Oh, I signed 2 6-figure deals with multi-million-dollar companies and this and that. I really wanted to be able to say that. And the universe was like, girl, no. You are not doing that. We are not going to put you there, because that would have held me back in the further of the process. Take a field trip. I think with these cards of like what I'm trying to talk about here, I wasn't nourishing myself. And when I realized that I needed to nourish myself, when I started doing that and like taking care of myself and coming from a place where I wasn't coming from an empty cup, I was coming from my overflow, it was much easier to get really clear on what I wanted. But because I was getting more and more clear, I was sitting more and more in my ego. And I wasn't celebrating the little things. And like, I was really focused on vanity metrics and like what that looked like and how I was being perceived by the outside world. When I would like post stuff, I'd be like, oh, I only got 15 likes, or I only got 12 comments, or I only got 1 share. That doesn't matter. Like, I got 15 people to like this. 15 people have been impacted by me. Do you know how crazy that is? And I know a lot of people have like been like, oh, envision like yourself in a room, in an auditorium, and like these many people standing in front of you, 100 people standing in front of you, or whatever. Think about, when I think about likes, I think about hugs. Think about 15 people coming up and hugging you at the same time, like all at once. You'd be like, oh, I don't like touching. I'm not a touchy feely person. So I'd be like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. This is a lot. And when we think about it in like our social media aspect, it doesn't feel like a lot because it's not physical, it's in the virtual. But when I think about this path that I've been on, a lot of stuff we take way more seriously than what it needs to be. And that's why celebrating the little things is so important. I started posting on my TikTok last Tuesday. I have well over 7,000 views on like, I don't know, maybe roughly around 10 videos at this point. If somebody were to tell me that I was going to have thousands of people see me and hear me and respond to what I am saying, and getting the comments, getting the shares, getting the likes, I'm overwhelmed. I feel so ecstatic, so grateful, so powerful. But in that same breath, I feel overwhelmed, like true overwhelm and true gratitude and true enjoyment. Because I'm finally doing what I've wanted to do for so long. For so long, it's been so hard for me to understand what my gifts were and how I could use that to better serve people. Because before it was, oh, you can do whatever you want to do. And, when you run your business and you be that CEO, HBIC, be that person. And I was for really, really, really long time, for about 2.5 years, where I was like really just focused on that. And I wasn't getting anywhere. Like, I would have clients here and there, but I wasn't getting filled. I wasn't getting that fulfillment. And I think that's where I'm starting to realize is I don't need to have fulfillment from anywhere other than myself. And that's been a long journey, and that's been a long road. And these tears are not of sadness, but of true gratitude and love. I love any of my collective that comes through and is feeling seen and heard by the things that I am saying, because I know that's what I'm meant to do. Yeah, I do have a deep intuition. I've always known I was meant to help people. I just didn't know what that was going to look like. And I feel like for everybody, we need to start realizing and trusting ourselves, trusting that intuition within ourselves, and being like, you know what? I don't care what my parents think. I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks in my family, friends, whoever. I trust my gut. I trust my intuition, and I'm going to start fresh. Begin again. I'm going to start taking care of myself and doing what I need to do to get to this other side. And one of the big things that I keep seeing, or that keeps coming out for me, is water and like rivers or waves or calm waters or like big waters of ups and downs and ebbs and flows. We're not supposed to take this life as seriously as we take it, especially in like the general sense. Like, does your higher self really care? Does my higher self really care that I'm showing up looking like Lord Farquaad right now? Maybe a little bit, but it's not that serious. Like, if you're really here to listen and receive what I am saying, 1111, you don't need to care about the outer of what it looks like. What matters is the connection. How are we connecting here? Because that's what my journey is. That's what my purpose is. I'm here to help you connect not only the dots within, but to connect with me and find the community that you've always been looking for. Because I know I have. I'm a person. I'm biracial, and my dad's black and my mom's white, and they're also 14 years apart. So like, there's not only like a significant age difference, but there's also a significant difference with the upbringing. My mom grew up in the suburbs, my dad grew up on the east side of Detroit. Like, there's a lot of differences that I have had to realize. And because I'm a Libra, I have always been trying to find the balance my entire life, and it has felt like a curse a lot of times, and not necessarily a blessing, but I've realized that it is a blessing. It's okay to feel the feeling. It is a blessing because I'm able to understand people in different ways because of the differences that I've had to grow up with. And I'm really excited about that because I think that this is going to help me in the future, not only with myself, but with my daughter, as you can hear her in the background. But my husband is Italian and Native American, and I am Black, Native American, and whatever, a bunch of European stuff, German, French, whatever. And it is so crazy thinking about the interweb that she has within her DNA, within her life, that she will see and that she will get to experience. Seeing things for what they are. I think that's a great explanation on where it all really flipped for me. I finally saw, when I finally started seeing, it's not that serious. It doesn't have to be hard. It's all of your thought process. It's all of what you're thinking. It's all of those things. Staying alive. I think there was a part of me for a long time that was just trying to stay alive, and I was being on autopilot instead of living life. And living life was more than just like your day-to-day, but like living the life that I want to live, the life that my soul craved. And I think a lot of people are in that balance of trying to figure out, like, you're living life, but are you living life that your soul craves and that your soul is destined to be a part of? Because within this, it's very, very difficult to continue living life when you know that you're meant for more, or you know that there is more that needs to happen. But that's why you have to feel the feeling. Because when you feel the feeling and you trust it, you move forward and your whole world changes. And I have so much more to share. 444. I have so much more to share, and I have so much more to really go over. But this message today feels significant. I want you to be able to feel the feelings that you're meant to feel, every aspect of them, because your feelings are valid. But start getting clear on what you really want and taking care of yourself and trusting yourself. Because when you take care of yourself and you trust yourself and you are clearing the path that you're meant to clear to get to the other side, that's when you can begin again. Take this as not only a message, but my love letter to you, that the collective, my people that have found this, please understand that you are so much more than what this world tries to make you believe. You are a true goddess within and without. But it's going to take you to figure out who you are and who you want to be.